Welcome to the Call of Duty Timeline series, where we dive deep into the history and story behind one of the most iconic gaming franchises of all time. In this video, we'll be looking at the early days of Call of Duty when the series was all about the gritty realities of World War II. Let's start from the very beginning. Released in 2003, the first Call of Duty took us back to World War II, offering something that was still relatively fresh at the time. A first person shooter that focused on not just one but multiple perspectives from the war. The game lets you play as American, British, and Soviet soldiers, with each campaign telling a different part of the war story. From the chaotic landing at the Normandy to gritty urban warfare in Stalingrad, Call of Duty put players in the shoes of ordinary soldiers caught in extraordinary circumstances. It was one of the first games to emphasize squad-based combat, where you are not just a lone wolf but part of team fighting together for survival. The game's strength was in its immersive storytelling, taking us from the beaches of Normandy to the harsh Russian winters, all while showing the global scale of the conflict. 2 years later, Call of Duty 2 expanded on everything the first game did well, with better graphics, more intense battles, and even bigger moments. Players once again experienced the war from different perspectives: American, British, and Soviet. One of the standout missions was the Battle of El Alamein in North Africa, where players fought through the hot desert sands, pushing back against Rommel's Afrika Korps. Then there's the iconic D-Day landing at Point du Hoc, where you scale the cliff under heavy enemy fire. The sense of scale and intensity was unlike anything we've seen before. By 2006, Call of Duty 3 continued the series' focus on World War II, but this time with more emphasis on the Normandy breakout, a campaign that took place after the initial D-Day invasion. Unlike previous titles, Call of Duty 3 gave players larger environments to explore and even introduced vehicles into the gameplay. The story was once again told from multiple perspectives: American, British, Canadian, and Polish soldiers, as they all played a role in pushing the German force out of France. What made Call of Duty 3 special was its focus on the teamwork and camaraderie between soldiers. You weren't just fighting for survivals, you were fighting for the brothers beside you. And that brings us to the end of World War II era and Call of Duty's early history. These first three games laid the groundwork for what would come next, a shift to modern warfare. In the next video, we'll explore how Call of Duty broke new ground with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, changing the face of first person shooters forever. Stay tuned for part 2.